99% of the people in the world are not even aware about this. But if you can change this one simple thing, I can assure you that you can change your life in a miraculous way. The thing that I'm talking about here is inner mental conversations. All day long, people are having conversations within their minds, but if you are even a little aware of the concept of everyone is you pushed out, you must already know that our thoughts are constantly being projected outwards, and even these conversations that we have in our inner minds, that's exactly what goes out to create our realities with the people around us. No matter what you're trying to manifest in the world, 99% of the time, there are people involved to get that manifestation towards you. In this video, I'm gonna explain more about this, and I'm also gonna give you 3 tips which you can start applying in your life right now. So if you want to learn more about this, stay tuned and let's get started. Welcome back to this video, guys. My name is Rav Sitola. I'm a manifesting coach, and if you're looking for a more comprehensive step-by-step guide in order to help you manifest your specific desires, I have this course out called the Manifestation Accelerator, and you can find the link for that in the description box below. And by the way, I hope you noticed my Argentina shirt. This year has already been fabulous for me, but because of Argentina winning, it has become even more awesome. So let's talk about inner conversations. We all have these inner dialogues or even monologues happen with us all the time. I'd be really interested to hear what kinds of inner conversations are you having with yourself as well as with the people in your reality. Seriously, I'd love to hear it, so leave that in the comment section below. And most times whenever we're having these inner conversations in forms of dialogues or monologues, and sometimes even conversations with other people, we're not even aware, but most times it's happening in a more negative way. Because a lot of times when we're present, we're already present, right? We're not thinking about what's going on. We're feeling the feelings. We're not giving too much thoughts to the things around us. We're mostly observing the good feelings whenever we're in a good feeling state. But whenever we drop into this negative state, our critical mind starts to get more activated. And it's funny, but I'm thinking about this scene from The Lord of the Rings. The evil side of the golem starts to arise and is starting to overpower him. And the more trusting, the innocent side of Golem is saying to this crazy part, "But Master is our friend." But the crazy part of Golem says, "You have no friends." And eventually, Golem starts becoming so crazy and his thoughts become really internalized, and it turns into really hard-formed beliefs, and he starts saying, Master hates us, right? And that's how our beliefs are internalizing. And whenever these unfavorable circumstances starts arising in our minds, we almost turn into Golem. But if we go a step further from this, we're also having these really crazy internal dialogues with not just ourselves but the people in our lives. We're having imaginary conversations with them, and a lot of times we start to rebuttal against them and we start to argue with them in our minds. And there's this really awesome lecture by Neville, and I think it's called Inner Conversations Creates Our Reality. And in that lecture, he talks about this lady who is having a problem with her boss, right? And the boss is treating her unfairly. And Neville asks her, like, are you having, what kind of conversations, what kind of dialogues are you having with him in your mind? And lo and behold, she confesses that while driving to work each and every day, she's having these mental arguments with him. And eventually that's getting pushed out. She's trying to resist what she doesn't want rather than focusing on what she wants, right? And that goes in our reality all the fucking time. We're having all these like conflicts with people in our mind. We're having these like mental movies going on where we're arguing with people, where we're fighting with people, where we're just like cutting people off from our lives without even having like noble conversations. And I don't want you to go around and fix all the relationships with all the people out there, right? That's impossible to do. But the people who are most important to you, you should really start looking into the kinds of conversations you're having with them inside of your own minds. And if you're having conflicts with your SP, if they're not responding to your texts, if they're not really acting in the way that you would wish they would have, what's happening is you're probably having these mental arguments inside of your own mind with them. And surely that's what's being reflected back into your own reality. That's how your SP is going to show up in your reality. And there's a lot of ways you can start manifesting different things, right? Even like good relationship with your SP. But from what I've found, especially when you're working with a specific person, if you are not able to fix these inner dialogues before you start even like visualizing or affirming, a lot of times whenever you're starting to visualize, you won't even be able to think of them in a positive way. You all of a sudden you're starting to think that they're rejecting you, you're having arguments with you, or you're having arguments with them, and you're not being agreeable to each other, and all these things are keep going on until and unless you fix your inner conversations. So here are the 3 steps that you can start using right now in order to fix your inner conversations. Step number 1, think of what you really want. Now, if you are having arguments with the people from your reality, the problem is you've been focused on what you don't want for so long that you probably don't even focus on what you want. And this happens more at an unconscious level. Now, I'm not trying to blame you or anything, but a lot of times when we start getting stressed, this like fight or flight response starts taking over, and one way for it to start getting activated is like having these like imaginary scenes and where we're starting to like fight with others, defend ourselves, and all that kinds of things, right? But if you're really trying to mend a relationship with somebody, think about the exact outcome that you want. And it could be maybe you want just the relationship to be repaired. You want them to start giving you more affection, more respect, whatever it is that you want. Be clear on that. Now, step number 2, forgive the person completely. 2 of the biggest negative emotions that hold people back are guilt, self-guilt, and resentment towards others. Now, I wish people talked more about forgiveness in the manifesting community, but I don't hear it that often. But the truth is that a lot of times when we're carrying these negative emotions such as resentment, we are really putting a barrier between us and what we're trying to accomplish, because we are resisting what we want until we are not able to clear off resistance. When we are resenting somebody, we are focusing on what we don't want. And it's not only about forgiving others, but it's also about forgiving yourself, because another big negative emotions that hold us back is guilt, having guilt, feeling guilty about not being able to do enough, feeling guilty about creating conflicts with other people. All these feelings are overpowering us and making us feel like we're not worthy of getting what we want. One thing I want you to keep in mind if you're really feeling resistant about forgiveness or other things is you're not trying to forgive them and move on despite of them doing the bad behaviors. You're forgiving so you can clear up these blockages from your life. Plus, because you have this awareness and this confidence that you know you'll be able to create a newer version of them in your new reality that you're going to transcend upon once you start having these new inner conversations in your mind. That's something you want to keep in your own mind. And I also have this meditation which has been really helpful to help people forgive their specific person and manifest them back. And I'm gonna link that down in the description box below if you want to check that out. Now, step number 3 is you need to start hearing them saying the things to you in the way that you want to. For example, if you're trying to manifest a better relationship with your father, you can start hearing him say all these kind, loving, and respecting words towards you, where he's saying that I'm always gonna be here for you. I'm always going to be rooting for you. And once you hear from them the things you are wanting them to say, you start appreciating that, and in your imaginary conversation, you start saying thank you. And you also acknowledge how wonderful it is that you are able to fix this problem, and you can start having conversations in the way that you want to. And unless you've been able to think about the outcome in advance and forgiven them, it's really hard for you to actually have these inner dialogues without any conflicts. That's why these first 2 steps are really necessary before you start having these conversations in the way that you desire them to go. And once you start doing this, your conversations are gonna start being pushed out there, and your reality is gonna start reflecting this new relationship with the people in your surroundings and new relationship with your world. And you'll start noticing that your reality starts shifting in the way according to the inner conversations you're having with yourself as well as with others. And in the same way, you can use these inner conversations to influence the dialogues that you're having with yourself. And once you start becoming more comfortable in your own skin, it's gonna be more and more easier for you to manifest things in your reality left and right, because a lot of those insecurities are also gonna go away. And that's why it's really important for us to have awareness about the kinds of conversations that we're having in our minds with ourselves as well as with other people. And once we're able to fix this, it's definitely going to transform our reality. Now, I trust that you found this video helpful. I would really appreciate if you can share this video on the groups and in your Facebook pages and everything, if you feel like they can be of value for the people. And with that being said, guys, I want to wish you all the very best. Happy manifesting. Goodbye and namaste.